Market is tough right now, yet there is still an option to make 6 and 7 figures this cycle if you are going to position correctly right now. And the best beauty of this strategy is that you have to position currently and you won't need to do nothing. And you will be outperforming 99% of people out there. 99% of Memecoin traders, rotators, swappers. You will just sit there on your hands and you will be outperforming 99% of the market. Today, I will tell you about this strategy absolutely for free, which is insane. I can't even think I'm saying this. And we will also talk briefly on the topic of Solana meme coins, why Solana is dead, what is happening there with the launches that are happening, and altcoins, and finally alt season as well. When is it happening? Maybe it's not happening at all. Make sure to like this video for this free type of content, and let's start. By the way, guys, thank you very much for your 7,000 followers on X. I will make sure to continue to share good content out there. Something I wanted to mention at the start of Saturday, I said a bit of green in the weekend, Monday dump, alt season after. First two essentially happen 100%. So right now we're happening for alt season. If you want to be getting this type of quick updates from my end, make sure to follow me on X. Alt's funding went up to X. I was essentially just sharing some thoughts on why I think that Monday will essentially be red. Coming back to our meme coin on Solana, which is absolutely insane. Today, we're launching CAR, an experiment designed to show how something as simple as a meme can unite people, support national development, and put the Central African Republic on the world stage in a unique way. So the country in Africa actually has launched a meme coin. We have to check out what is happening with this meme coin at this stage. Meme coin is printing Christmas tree out there, which means they're dumping heavily. They're dumping like crazy, they supply the meme coin, probably farming a lot into the volume, right? Because the proper way to dump is on the run up. And essentially, as they don't care, they also dump into the sell-offs as well. We are all pumping African GDP now. This is something one of the guy that probably bought this meme coin mentioned. President of country in Africa, CAR, deploys a token. 35% of tokens are locked for country development. The full GDP of the country is 2.6 billion. Real market cap is only $30 million. The trenches are really fixing what years of US and UN African aid couldn't. This one is funny. This is quite interesting. Meow from Jupiter here. And like anyone is saying that Ethereum Foundation like are soy boys, Meow from Jupiter here, it's insane. The guy has a picture of the cat. Essentially, thing here is that the founder of Jupiter, which is one of the largest dexes on Solana, he did a public message to the president of this country that they did not actually contact Jupiter in the first place. They did not ask for help. And right after these messages, what he actually started to do, he tried to flood the meme coin, probably to get an entry, right? But obviously this thing went up without him. Maybe he actually served as exit liquidity. Here's another picture of this founder, of this president, with the CZ, who is the founder of Binance. So the guy should be well connected. And the final message about all this thing that happened with this meme coin on Solana, confirming that this thing essentially a rug and scam in the first place. Devs allegedly canceled the fake Streamflow contracts after my tweet, moved the tokens back to the wallet and created new Streamflow contract, and they locked in this time. But here is the catch: they didn't lock the amounts they promised and kept around $17 million worth of tokens, which are more than enough to fully rack $3 million liquidity token. Stay aware and don't get tricked from these moves. We'll keep monitoring the situation. CAR. So yeah, essentially, despite the fact that the tokenomics look nice in the first place on this one, it unfortunately in the first place was a rug. Let's move to case number 2. This is a meme coin that was launched by the baby, who is an American rapper. It reached $10 million in market cap. Right now, as you can see, it's dumped heavily already. And what's interesting is that, as you can see following this chart, each and every pump, we see the pump here, and here someone is selling. Pump here, someone is selling. So they were just dumping all the supply with no regrets out there. This is the official account of the baby essentially launching a meme coin. Well, it's quite funny that it's like he's saying that he launched this one with a proper team, but they launched exactly at the time when the attention of the market was focused on the launch of a country meme coin. So the timing was really, really bad. Thanks for helping me to do the launch. Best guy in the space. Let's keep pushing this baby. Yeah, no one cares, and they just rock the whole thing. Baby is a ticking time bomb. If you're in it, you deserve to lose all your money. And this is just a screenshot that is showing that the coin is heavily bundled, which means that the founders of these projects, they have most of the supply and they will rug the whole thing and scam and steal your liquidity, steal your money. The question you might ask, why this is happening in Solana? Is Solana actually alive at this stage, or is it dead currently? I tend to think that Solana is unfortunately dead at this stage. There are some projects that will still probably do quite well. Overall, with this amount of extraction happening, don't get me wrong, a lot of people actually make money on these memes if they're early. A lot of people, they essentially made millions on the launch of car coin out there. Not a lot of it, like few, right? But some people definitely made money. But this is not the way for a majority of the market to actually make money, and it definitely requires active management. The reason these people were able to make money is because they are behind the screens for 15 hours a day looking for the opportunities like that, right? And the issue with these type of launches is that with each new launch of celebrity of a country, less and less people are going to play, less and less people are going to put the liquidity, because most are unfortunately losing. And there is a better way. There is a better way how you'll be making 6-7 figures this cycle, longing out, and you won't have to do anything, just have to act currently and maybe increase your position over time, which I will actually uncover to you today. A very good sum up by Drake on digital on the current situation. I'm actually in the private Discord of this guy. Unless you're in the know with the people launching these coins and being an insider, you're going to have death by 1,000 cuts day trading these things. There is no such thing as a trench trader. The people you see streaming on Twitter and online that are able to successfully do it is because you are their exit liquidity. 100%. There are so many LARPs in this space, so many people are just scamming, and they create this fake picture of like it's easy and everyone is making money. Nah. Their business is using you as exit liquidity, nothing more, nothing less. Meme coins offer a very favorable risk to reward in a belief in something meta. In a runner of the day meta, you're going to lose your shirt. Yeah, belief in something. I would say that these are the only meme coins that should be played. And even if you would think about that, all your popcats, all your weaves, people who actually made the most money with them were following belief in something meta. People that were trying to be a trench trader, they just had a bunch of stories, oh, like I had so much supply of weave, I was buying so low and then I sold and blah, 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 a bunch of stories like this. Why? Because they can't hold. You only can win in meme coins if you actually hold good assets out there. Nothing else helps you. Look, I get it, you probably don't want to hear this and you want to have that get rich quick overnight pill, but it doesn't exist. At least with the belief in something meta, you had a chance to get lucky. But with the runner of the day, even if you do get lucky and hit it, you end up round tripping and losing it all because the runner of the day becomes the worst performing of tomorrow. Don't get caught up in the death by 1,000 cuts. Not only does it leave your wallet damaged, but it also drains you mentally and will consume your life. Very, very great post from my point of view. Awesome one. Other thing that we actually have to focus on right now, we're kind of moving slightly closer to the topics of altcoins. This is actually crazy. This is just came out today. Breaking Ethereum. Speculators have built the largest Ethereum short position in history. It's insane. We are all-time high for Ethereum shorts, right? Yet I actually see that funding is quite neutral. So either they are shorting on their own type of platforms and probably this institutional money, right? Or essentially they are longing the same amount at the same time. I tend to think that we are probably in the situation where there are a bunch of shorts opened and you probably are here to ask for a reason. You're probably very, very curious why this situation is happening out there. Do you know how venture capitalists actually accumulate assets? Do you actually know the process of accumulation of the asset? If you actually want to enter with large chunks of money, right? Because they're not playing with millions of dollars, they're not playing with hundreds of millions of dollars, they're not playing even with billions of dollars. They're playing with tens of billions of dollars. And in order to accumulate the position that they actually want, to make it worth it for them, because they are planning to make hundreds of billions from this market. 100% at least. If not this cycle, then over time, 100%, right? We did not ever see substantial inflows from Ethereum ETF on a long enough period of time. Do you know how these venture capitalists are actually acquiring the assets that they want to acquire? They have to have multiple months, multiple days, multiple weeks of accumulation. How do they do it? They oftentimes, they just short the asset to suppress the price of the asset, and at the same time, they're just buying on spot. This is something that is happening, and the fact that we are seeing this metric currently, and the fact that we are seeing this metric is actually increasing since the end of the year, despite all the pump of Ethereum to $4,000. For these guys, it doesn't matter. $4,000 is still accumulation area for them. And that's why I'm actually saying bull market did not start. Bull market did not start yet. It's probably insane to hear at this time. Everything we've seen thus far is accumulation. It's just accumulation. Bull market did not start yet. Maybe for Solana it played out, but this is probably like the only asset out there. And still, it should be larger, it should be bigger, but by the end of the year, maybe $500, which is 2.5x from here, and I'm not in crypto for 2.5x, right? So this is my speculation at this stage. First of all, that we have largest short position history opened because of the fact that they are accumulating. At the same time, it also gives us a room for a large short squeeze. And understand the sentiment that's happening currently. It just created so carefully, just created with so much efficiency, which such an expertise. Like me actually sharing the stuff that I'm going to share today and the stuff that I'm sharing currently, it actually hurts me, because I could have just been silent. I could have just understand all these things just for myself, just make money for myself, and that's it. Because the more of you actually entering in my assets, you're pricing me out of the entries that I want, and the more of you would essentially believe the things I'm saying, the larger is the chance that the market maker would essentially see that the sentiment is changing, and instead of sending the market currently, he will essentially drop the market one more time and maybe even liquidate me. So I'm hurting here myself heavily. I think it at least deserves a like button out there. Obviously the channel is not that large at this stage, right? But as soon as the sentiment changes overall, that Altseason is actually going to happen, everything is bullish, and you might probably hear that everyone is screaming about Altseason, right? But no one is buying. Charts are not telling me that people are buying at this stage, which is very, very bullish. The bulk of the sentiment out there is that people are just sitting in stable coins on the sidelines and they're waiting for confirmations. But once this confirmation will actually come, my assets will already do 2 to 3x at least from the bottoms. And over a long enough time frame, this is just a huge outperformance. Imagine, what if they will do 100x from the bottom? For someone who is entering 3x later, he's only exposed to 33x. Whilst I'm exposed to 100x. Absolutely insane. The more liquidity builds up above Bitcoin, the bigger the short squeeze will be. We also have quite similar situation in terms of Bitcoin. There is a bunch of shorts that are opened at $110,000 per Bitcoin. And we even have some things on the marketplace being sure that we should be going to $140,000 BTC quite soon. I'm telling you, it should be happening quite soon. Altseason should be starting quite soon. Like days away. Ethereum in disbelief, Bitcoin in thrill, easy pick, 100%. And it's very funny that this guy, he mostly just talks about Bitcoin, but this is why I'm saying bull market never started. Bull market is not here, but bull market never started, because here's where Ethereum is, and here's where your Altseason is as well. And we are exactly before this point, and they're trying to shake you out as much as they can before this point. But the play currently is to leverage long small caps altcoins from this cycle and just grow your positions over time. Once you already will be at the points where you are illiquidatable, once you have 2x, 3x, 4x, and set stop losses as well. You can be setting stop losses just to make sure that even if the market drops heavily, you will still take some cash home and you will be able to re-enter or just take it out from the marketplace. This is something I will be sharing to you today. Probably I will just share a small part. I will do a full video on a full strategy overview with examples, spending some of my own money to show you the examples. If you want this one, make sure to like this video. If you would have at least 200 likes on this video, it will definitely show me that there is a requirement and need on the marketplace for this type of video. Elliott Trades is sharing. My view is, survive some chop and you're on the rocket. The worst is behind for alts. Everyone who was gonna sell already sold. Structural changes are coming. And I would even add to this one is that they did not even sell, but they're sitting on the sidelines in stable coins waiting to re-enter because they're scared at this stage. This one, like a lot of people are saying that like Elliott Trades is this type of retail influencer, and when he is saying certain things, like they often don't come out in a nice way, and except of his project that he was pumping this cycle, he probably did not make much money yet. But you have to understand that these people have been in this market for years, and despite the fact how bad you are and how bad you can be in the first place, they spend years in this market. They definitely understand stuff at this stage, 100%. And this is something crazy, because you might also think, yeah, like everyone is screaming about Altseason, but no one is buying. No one is buying. Everyone is just, there are hundreds of millions of dollars sitting on the sidelines. They're just waiting for the opportunity to become lucrative enough, because they're essentially in the mode of protecting the capital. And if you're really trying to make money on this market, you have to be a bit bolder than them, but also be cautious, because the worst thing that can happen to you is you not surviving moves on this market. Tariffs news starting to lose the punch. This one is very interesting. Yesterday we had a piece of news that Trump is actually going to apply tariffs today. And I was sitting behind charts that exact moment, and I actually was seeing that not all the things are going down. Like, we had a slight drop, but then things just stopped. They just stopped going lower. So I actually longed some. I entered a short, a very, very small Mavia long out there, right? And I'm up today from this long, right? But the goal for me is that it's not even being up at this stage, because I'm not a trader. I do understand this. My goal is just long the bottom of altcoins and make tens of millions of dollars from it. Because once we are 2, 3, 4, 5x higher, I can be constantly increasing the size of my positions out there. So the loan actually opened. I opened it on a different exchange to not have the limits, because in my first loan I already have the max limits out there, right? For the position that is possible for this asset, right? So I won't have the limits, and I would be able to increase my longs in the future just by increasing the leverage, which I will slightly share with you today, right? But for a full strategy, please make sure to make 200 likes on this video. Something actually shared 3 days ago. Altseason should be starting soon. We need quantitative easing, which is money printing for Altseason. Expect news on quantitative easing, right? What we are receiving just today. Not quantitative easing, quantitative easing will commence within the next 14 days. The US government will soon begin a drawdown of the Treasury General Account, TGA. This could mean a liquidity injection totaling up to $830 billion. Functionally, this is similar to quantitative easing. Here is what will happen. So what's going on? And essentially, he explains the whole thing, but this is just insane. We don't even need large portions of capital to be invested into the market. At this stage, we just need a narrative. Narrative is going to be enough out there to push alt slightly higher. That's why I was saying Altseason should be starting soon. We need quantitative easing for Altseason. Expect news on quantitative easing. 3 days later, quantitative easing will commence within the next 14 days. That's why you have to watch my videos on a daily basis and follow me on X, because I was not able to share this tweet and this thought on my videos. I've done it on X. What we are receiving here is absolutely insane right now. 3 altcoins that I would want to talk about currently, that I think will just share the part of strategy that I'm using, and will probably just help you to understand the framework. So I think what you should be doing currently is leverage long, low cap altcoins, LLA, right? And low cap altcoins from this cycle, right? Why leverage loan is because if altcoin is somewhat decent, they at least have money for the market maker and things like that, they will have the option to leverage loan them. So you're kind of protected right there, right away, because exchanges, they're not doing the best due diligence at this stage. At least they're doing some, at least for altcoins, because for Memecoins, they definitely don't have a process at this stage. For alts, they would definitely due diligence. So you're at least protected. Why altcoins from this cycle? Is because manipulation on them did not happen yet. Most of the early investors, early VCs in these altcoins, they are sitting most likely in negatives. Like, they're probably sitting at the prices of the entry points out there. Nothing is happening for them currently. They have no option to sell, right? And probably the manipulation is actually coming in the future, because the team, they most likely for all this time, they were selling some of the coins, they were shorting maybe the coin out there. They probably do have some money to actually pump the whole thing out there, right? Why leverage loan? Even if you're entering with low leverage, like a 2x, 3x leverage at this stage, this is the goal. The goal currently is not to build giant allocations out there. The goal currently is just to put some foot in the game, right? So you would be able to increase this leverage over time to 5x, to 10x, and you will already be illiquidatable by that time. You would be actually like upgrading your entry point slightly higher, right? But it won't matter. Your goal would be just to increase the exposure to the asset. So let's say you're entering something with 3K and 3x leverage at this stage. Let's say you're even entering Mavia. What is your exposure into the asset? Your exposure is $9,000. Let's say Mavia is doing 2x from here. Your exposure becomes $18,000 and you have $9,000 in profits at this stage. What you're doing with this one, you actually take some of your initial margin. You don't even need to add additional funds. You don't even need to decrease your exposure into the asset. This is the beauty of leverage right here. You take some of your initial 3K margin, you increase the leverage here. Let's say you increase it to 5x, and you enter with $1,000, you enter 5x leverage more. This way, you increased your allocation from $18,000 to $23,000 after 2x. And you just weigh more, right? And once this thing does it 2x, instead of just having only 36K exposure, you already have 46K exposure, right? Which is huge. It's 13K more. And I just gave an example with increase over 5x leverage, but you can do an increase on 10x leverage. And this way you would actually be adding 50% of the position on top. I hope it makes sense. It's just the short explanation at this stage. If you want me to dive deeper into this thing and show you with examples, make sure to put 200 likes on this video, because again, I don't even want to share this thing. I was sharing my private Discord multiple times, but this is just insane. If you are entering like low leverage couple coins like Maya, for example, at this stage, that are low cap and they are available on average, this is how you would be making, like, obviously if all of us enter this one, like we want, like not everyone will be making hundreds of thousands, but the reason I'm kind of confident to share this one is because I'm sure that very, very few of us, even if each and every person who is watching this video will enter Mavi along like right now, right? Only 2% of us will actually be able to hold. You will see certain profits, you will see like some meme coin pumping or something, you will close your loan, you will reposition. I've done it multiple times. I've done it with Pepe loan, I've done it with my bread loan. I'm not going to make the same mistake again, at least from what I'm thinking currently. So Mavi is essentially one of them. The second one is Blessed, and I'm thinking, and I'm essentially longing myself currently. The thought process there is very, very simple. Most of the alts are essentially defended at this stage by their speculative upside, right? Which means that their price is just too low, and once market will turn bullish again, the prices are going higher 100%. So there would be an average multiplier that all of the alts will pump. It might be like 2x, 3x, 5x, 7x, depending on how bullish the market will essentially be. And right after, the altcoins that will actually be able to find product market fit, the best altcoins, would be able to pump further right there. And these are just two projects I like, and these are just two projects that I see retail product market fit. So like, these are definitely not product market fits in the crypto native crowd. And that's why like I'm not planning for them to actually outperform heavily short term. I do think I would actually need to sit for a period of time with them not doing much in comparison to other altcoins on the market. Again, I'm ready for this, and I also do think that this period of time would just make sure that a bunch of people will leave, and that's why like I'm kind of safe even sharing the strategy with you currently at this stage. Something that is happening with Blast right now is that there is Blast Bera Memecoin launching on Bera chain, which is kind of making fun of Blast out there. To be honest, it's great because do you know what was happening in Solana through the whole bear market? Despite the fact that it was like going down, it was $7 and stuff, people were talking about it, people were shitting on it, which means that the mindshare was there. I'm like, this thing just confirms to me that the mindshare is there. Like, there is no other chain that people are talking about at this level. Can you see? 320,000 views. Absolutely insane. Mindshare is definitely there. Some meme as well, but this is just a small one. Buy call for Blast. Sudden spike and kick out all the short seller a few hours ago. Profit taken ongoing, volume reducing. Once this process done, meaning Blast will head uptrend. Wait for the price break, previous candle high, then confirm long call. Do your own study before buy and sell. Well, this one is quite a bit of alpha information, because what he is saying here is that people that were short in Blast, they're essentially taking profits, which means they're buying into the charts because they're closing the shorts, and that's why the chart is slightly going higher. Why it's alpha is because most of the VCs on the projects out there, what they are doing, they have a group chat, right? And they just make a cumulative decision of dumping the asset and just shorting it at the same time. And I do believe what is happening currently is that on a bunch of alts, we're actually seeing people closing shorts, which means that VCs and people who are making all the money on the marketplace by shorting altcoins, they might be understanding that the trend is going to change soon, and they're changing the trend themselves, and they're essentially closing the shorts out there, which is bullish, which is definitely going to be something. And imagine all the profits that they made shorting altcoins thus far this cycle. Most of this profit will actually be used in pumping the alts. I'm not talking about retail money. I'm not talking about Memecoin traders' money that they will be flooding back into altcoins. Absolutely, absolutely insane. Mavi is officially game over. Mavi game, I sincerely wish your development team the very best, but I think you can see what the reality is. You started with a coin, you began to develop a game, you created a marketplace to trade coins on. The game was not actually created. Very nice message, yeah. These are the things that I'm looking for when things are essentially at the lows. The sentiment that things are dying, nothing is happening, things like that. And in general, the best thing is not even this sentiment. The best thing is just people not caring anymore. Do I care about Mavi at this stage? I don't think so, right? This is bullish from my point of view. And one of the things in contrary to the strategy that I shared, that is quite strong, right? And like, that's why from my point of view, I'm seeing certain risks in connection to longing this coin because it's strong, right? It's not at the bottoms at this stage, and bottoms definitely were at around 2nd or 3rd of February. But it was like at $80 to $100 million, which was a generational entry, and it's up at 2x. From there at this stage, even slightly more. What I would suggest if you're afraid on entering like on the green, you just enter this one with 2x leverage. This thing is in a Coinbase. It's essentially a decentralized uncensored LLM. So it's like Chat GPT that you can ask on how to create a nuclear bomb, and this thing will essentially tell you, right? So this is a very, very interesting tool by itself, and it was huge narrative through the whole this cycle. As far as you know, like I was holding NQAI, which is similar type of project. These guys probably have slightly better marketing and a slightly care, like they just care more about their project at this stage. So yeah, this is something I would suggest to do as one of the movers on Coinbase exchange, and it's also one of the great movers in base ecosystem out there. This thing might actually be appreciating in value as well. So 2x leverage just to be safe. I don't think this thing will actually be creating like crazy access over time, but just like a 10x over the course of several months might be happening if you would be able to enter this low leverage, and then let's say this thing goes to like 350 million, so you will be able to increase the leverage to like 3x or something. You would probably have quite a nice exposure into this thing as well. Yeah, this is essentially the interface. You just ask anything and it just works. So it's a working product, because many people are talking that crypto projects, they don't have working products. This is it. This is the one. Number of stake VVV rising every day. Only reason this entry is so juicy is because of the beefed launch. Great publicity stunt, CP related, plus most of crypto Twitter too started to know who Eric Voorhees is. When supply shock hits, it won't be surprising if we see some explosive price action. Not going to draw a line for you on the chart, but just imagine it going up and to the right, but mostly up. So essentially, issue with this type of post is that in comparison to Blast and Mavi, you're not seeing this type of post currently, right? Because these are weaker assets from the price point of view, right? And people are not yet interested to use you as exit liquidity. And this guy, he's quite interested to use the market and people who are reading him as exit liquidity. And that's why like he's sharing these things already. So from one point of view, you are safer, you get more confidence. From other point of view, this thing already did 2.5x's from the bottom, right? And that's why your entry point is not ideal. But I still do think that the potential right here is great. With a few shocking twists along the way, Ask Venice is flipping the script on AI privacy. UV seems to have found its way to the watch list of this guy. And that's essentially the whole overview. If you would be interested, you can click pause and check out the whole thing. I won't be going through the whole thing, but yeah, it's probably quite bullish, right? And again, 50k views, so most likely this post is something that pushed this thing heavily, right? And from one point of view, you would get the support of these influencers. From other point of view, you're not buying in the pure darkness, in the pure shadiness, in the pure silence, right? When obviously there is the more upside, but at the same time, the time frame, how much time you would actually need to hold is not determined, which makes opportunity cost quite high. Like with this thing, if you enter currently, pretty sure like maybe short term it's doing 2-3x's, so you're at least making some money. With other things that I shared, maybe they will stay at the same levels for some time and not move much. This is the opportunity cost that you might be paying. And I'm just playing like strategy that I'm sharing is quite risky as well, from the point of view that you would have to sit in these assets. You would have to sit in them for quite some time. But if everything works out, you will probably be outperforming a bunch of people out there. What creates these profits is uncertainty and opportunity cost. While you are sitting in them, everything else might be moving more in comparison to them, but once they move, essentially they will move nicely. And from my point of view, these are the two assets that have a chance to hit nice product market fit this cycle, because despite the fact this thing essentially has a product, does it hit product market fit? The response is no. I doubt that a lot of people essentially using this thing and then find it helpful, although they actually report 500 million users on this one, so it's quite interesting. This is everything I wanted to share at this stage. Let me know what you actually think about Altseason. You're probably thinking that it's not happening and we probably will have the outperformance of certain sectors. Altseason is dead and nothing is happening out of this one. I do think short term, very soon, we should be seeing crazy moves on this marketplace happening, and I'm seeing the foundation being prepared for this one. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay healthy and rich. Bye bye.